This is Just Ask George, exploring the universe of corporate finance and capital formation for your business enterprise, with merchant banker George Lovato Jr. and your host, David Wolf.
Hi, I'm George Lovato Jr. of Just Ask George. You can find that show at www.dhcapitalltd.com. And over 3.5 million people have seen the multitude of our shows about business, business finance, and small business management. Today, a little bit of a departure for Just Ask George in that I'm going to provide you with a commentary and opinion. This is unsolicited by any party candidate, but let me just say this. This is an opinion and commentary that talks about when business can affect politics, and politics has affected business. Some time ago, I met Susana Martinez here in my office when she ran for her first term as governor. I was introduced to her by a Republican Party strong arm and jefe named Ken Zangara. He's a very close and dear friend of mine, and he thought that Susana was a good candidate at the time. After meeting with her and listening to the many solutions she had planned for growing and building and burgeoning small business in New Mexico, I was impressed. But many times when I would mention her name at social occasions and other business meetings, other people were saying she didn't have a chance to become governor. But I predicted she would win, and she did. Unfortunately, I pick about 95% of the winners. And as a result, sometimes I pick them, and I'm very unpopular with my friends. But Governor Susana Martinez is ending her first term. And all those things that she told me that she was going to do as governor for small business haven't happened. There's no small business liaison officer in her governor's office. I've seen no legislation whatsoever where the core of it is designed to stimulate small business here in New Mexico. And she's inaccessible. Small business doesn't have access to the governor's office. There's no conduit of communication, if you will. And I've been very disappointed. And I've heard from many of my friends in business here in New Mexico that they feel they've just been left out and neglected. Now, all of you listeners know that I'm a conservative. I'm a Republican. But enter Gary King, a Democrat. I have no faith in our current governor that she's going to do anything in her second term for small business. I've not seen a hint of legislation, a hint of a plan, and I've not seen communication improve from her office to small business. But Gary King, it's no secret that he and I have been friends for over 40 years. Our families have been tied together as friends, and if you want to call it a greater, larger family, for that greater period of time of maybe almost 50 years. My father worked for Gary King's father as one of his department heads back in the 70s. Now listen, I know it's a departure for a conservative to support somebody in the other party, a Democrat, Gary King. But guess what? I know the man, and this time I'm not voting along the party line. I'm voting for the person, because I know this person. And I've had the experience of voting the party line previously and supporting Susana Martinez. It did nothing for small business. And it's no secret that Gary was on my show some time back talking about his business plan for New Mexico. I did that as a friend. And I was quite surprised to hear about his plan. His plan was solid. It talked about all the things that small business needs in order to grow here in New Mexico. And guess what? Gary's a smart guy. He's the smartest guy in the room. He's an honest man, and he can be trusted. And he'll do what he says. And so in this case, I'm voting for the man. Yes, he's a friend. And yes, we go back 40 years. But the important thing to know here is that Gary King is a trusted soul. And I think it's his time to become governor. And I'm predicting, again, that Gary King's going to win. And Susana, your time is up. You've done nothing for small business in New Mexico. So good luck, Gary. And listen, when you go to ribbon cuttings, when businesses move into New Mexico, when you're governor, I know you'll have been part of that and not just an attendee holding the scissors and cutting the ribbon. Your plan is just that, to be interactive, to be involved, and to help stimulate business in New Mexico. Small business is the largest employer. Susana doesn't pay attention to that fact. Gary King understands it. He realizes what small business can do and how it can help the economy to help small business grow here in New Mexico. So again, Gary, good luck. Susana, goodbye.
For more information about George Lovato Jr. and BH Capital, visit bhcapitalltd.com. Check out more episodes of Just Ask George at justaskgeorgeradio.com. Just Ask George is produced by Steve Garth and is a production of BH Capital Ltd. All rights reserved.